Welcome back, everybody. Today we're outside doing the review here of the Bergara HMR. It is a hunter match rifle, so it's sort of a blend of a hunting rifle, of course, as the name implies, and then also like a PRS type match rifle. So they try to blend sort of the best of both worlds into one rifle because, of course, they make plenty of dedicated hunting rifles. They also make 3 or 4 different models with fancy chassis and all that stuff for precision rifle shooting type matches. So this is sort of the in-between and the melding of the two here. So there's a lot of features going on. We'll start out here with the barrel. This one here is in 308 and it comes with a 20-inch barrel with a 1 in 10 twist. It's a number 5 Bergara barrel. These are made over in Spain and they're hand lapped on the inside for good accuracy, which we're going to check out here in just a second. And it also comes in 6.5 rather, and that one there is going to be a 22-inch barrel, so it gives you a little bit longer barrel to take advantage of the velocity that 6.5 really does well with. So it comes in one of the two options. So with that note, we should step outside to the range here, and we're going to take a look and see what kind of accuracy we can actually expect out of this rifle. Now, the range shooting that you guys are about to see was shot probably 3 or 4 months ago in really hot temperatures, and the reason I'm outside today is today's the first day in probably 2 or 3 weeks that it's been above freezing, so I just wanted to enjoy it despite the wind that we're having out here. But anyway, let's step out to the range and see how this sucker shoots. We got a few loads to see what kind of accuracy we can get out of the rifle. Now, I've been shooting this rifle suppressed almost the entire time I've had it, but I took the suppressor off because I know some people aren't going to shoot it that way, so I wanted to sort of eliminate that variable. So we got the bare muzzle on there, Steiner 3-15 T5 XI, excellent scope. And then we also have CTK precision rest, target downrange at 100 yards. And the load in the rifle right now is the Fruity Munitions 308, 155 grain AMAX new production load. And for those that don't know, Fruity Munitions gives a discount to all the channel viewers. It is on the bottom of your screen, so that's always nice. And let's see how this rifle likes this load. Well, that one looks pretty good from here. All right, next up, we're gonna run some Federal Premium. This is the 175 grain Sierra Match King boat tail hollow point bullet, the gold medal match series. Kind of the standard of accuracy in 308, so let's see what the Bergara thinks of it. Every rifle likes its own food. They all have their different personalities, but we'll see. That will look pretty good as well. Last one we're going to put through it. The last load is the Guerrilla Ammunition. This is their 308 load, 175 grain Sierra Match King bullet. And we'll see how this one does. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on camera the way I have the camera down there, but it's in the triple digits today. I just checked the temp and it was over 100, so it's like 103. And it is humid too, so looking down, I'm just looking over clay and there's just crazy mirage. So really having to read that as well just to get my point of aim correct. The struggle is real. let's go check them out. Some of you guys are new to suppressors and bolt guns, so just so you know, the rifle is zeroed with the suppressor on, so that's why our point of impact isn't lining up with point of aim. So it's why it's shooting high and left. It's because it's zeroed with the suppressor. So first group, of course, was the fruity munitions, and center to center, we're right at 3/4 of an inch with that round. So very good ammo, very good rifle. Things sometimes work out. And then we had the Federal. Last one could have been me, not sure, but we opened up a bit. Center to center, we're right at 1.25 inches on that one. Then we came over to the Gorilla, and center to center, we're right at 1 inch on that one. So certainly shoots well. If you guys are hand loaders and you worked up a load for it, you might be able to tighten those up even more. As you guys saw, the rifle shoots pretty well, and again, like I just mentioned, if you worked up some loads for it, which I know a lot of folks out there are going to do who are going to purchase this rifle, I'd imagine you'd be able to shrink those groups down pretty small. I was over on Sniper's Hide checking out some reviews of this rifle, and there's lots of guys out there with load recommendations for their rifles that they're posting now that these have sort of become more popular and are out there on the streets. So if you guys are looking for that, just quick Google search with Bergara HMR, B-14, and Sniper's Hide. It'll pull it right up for you guys. So with that, we'll get on with more details of the rifle itself. We'll start out here at the rear and go over some of the features of it. It does have a spacer system that you guys see here, so you can adjust the length of pull for the shooter. I have 3 in there, which I found to be pretty comfortable, but if you guys are a little bit shorter, you can remove those spacers or add more if you want to either shorten or lengthen that length of pull. So the cheek piece here is nice. It's kind of it's cool because when it's down, it sort of looks like a traditional hunting type of stock, but it gives you the option to elevate or drop it down depending on the height of your scope. So throughout the review, you guys saw we had the 3-15 by Steiner on there. I just dropped a new scope on here and just leveled it all this morning, which is what really prompted me to do the review. So if you guys need higher rings, you can just raise up your cheek piece. So that certainly is a nice customizable feature that a lot of rifles in this price range just aren't going to have. And you guys are going to see that throughout the review. There's a lot of things like that with this particular model. So it also has QD sling points here on the rear. They are on both sides, the right and the left, and also QD up here on the front of the stock. So if you guys want to, you know, obviously hunt with it, carry it through the woods over long distances, it's not going to be an issue attaching a sling at any point there. It also does come with a bipod attachment point, which can also work as a sling attachment point. I'm sure some of you guys know, but I actually removed that, and we dropped an AccuTac 1913 rail in there. And I'll put a link down below for you guys because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to do that as well. That way I can use a quick detach 1913 style bipod, and the AccuTac is what we have on there right now. A review of this bipod will be coming as well. But anyway, continuing to move forward with the grip area here, it's very filling in the hand, as you guys can probably see. It's on the larger side versus some of the rifle stocks out there, and it sort of gives you a pistol type of grip on there. I like it a lot, but I think that's really a matter of preference, not so much a good or a bad thing. The safety on it, very reminiscent of the Remington 700, so we'll drop our mag there real quick and throw the bolt. That'll allow you to engage the safety. So pretty straightforward, red is dead, nothing too fancy there. The action of the B-14 is very similar to a Remington 700 on the exterior of it. So I've read several reports that people have taken this action out and dropped it into like a Magpul Remington 700 stock and several other Remington stocks out there. I haven't personally done it, but I've read that it can be done, so I'm just passing that along for you guys. It also, I know for a fact, does take Remington bases because that's exactly what this is here. I believe this is an EGW base that I purchased. In 308, you know, 0 MOA is going to be fine, or you could even run a 20 MOA on there. With 6.5, I know a lot of guys shooting 6.5 want to shoot it at longer distances, whether or not they actually do, but want to. If that's the case, I'd probably throw a 20 MOA base on there, but either way, takes the Remington bases, so they're relatively affordable and they're pretty much everywhere. Most local gun shops are going to take those or have them in stock. So anyway, moving on with the details, it does have a Seiko style extractor, which is different than a Remington 700. Also different than a Remington 700 is that it doesn't randomly fire when you don't intend it to fire, so that's always a good thing. We have the bolt release here on the left side. And if we actually drop down the comb of our stock here, it will allow me to remove the bolt. You can see there it's a 2-lug bolt design, and this one here is pretty dirty, probably needs to be cleaned, but it's still shooting well, so I'm just leaving it as it is. This one here is a cock on open type action. I don't really have a preference for that. Some guys like cock on open, some guys like cock on close. Either way, it doesn't really matter to me so long as it functions. It does have the little cocked indicator here though on the rear, so that way when you pull the trigger, you can tell that it is not cocked. And speaking of pulling that trigger, the trigger comes set from the factory at 3 pounds, very light, very crisp. It's exactly what you'd expect from a Bergara rifle. There's nothing to complain about in that regard. The magazine release there is ambidextrous, it's a paddle style, and it sticks out a little bit of the trigger guard on both sides, making it ambidextrous. The mags that it takes are going to be AI patterned mags. It comes with one 5-round Magpul PMag here, but any of your AI mags, whether they be metal or the Magpul versions out there, will fit. I really do like that because I have a bunch of AI mags, so it's nice to not have to go out and buy a ton of different mags. Another feature of this stock that you can't see right here, but I'm going to roll in pictures for you guys, is that it actually has a chassis, sort of like a mini aluminum chassis built into it, and it's molded into it, and it's molded in such a way that it can't come loose. So I'm sure some of you guys have seen or read on the internet of some of the sort of reinforced stocks out there coming loose, and the way they actually do this, they put holes specifically in the aluminum chassis that don't allow it to come loose. Basically, it wraps the polymer or whatever, I guess it's got to be polymer, huh? It wraps the polymer material around it, so that way it completely encapsulates the actual pillar bedding there. So definitely very rigid in that regard. Of course, the barrel is free floated as well. I think I hit most of the big points on the actual rifle that I wanted to cover. So let me just check my notes real quick and we'll wrap it up here at the end. Sure enough, there's a couple other points I wanted to touch on here with the rifle. So number one is going to be weight, and that goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning of this. This is sort of a blend with the precision rifle type setup as well as the hunter type setup. So this one here weighs in at 9.1 pounds on my scale. So relatively lightweight for a PRS style rifle, but you know, right in line with what you'd expect from most non-lightweight oriented hunting rifles. So that is something that I know a lot of folks are going to like. Another thing people are really going to like about this is the price point. So the MSRP on it, I forget what it is. I think it's like $1,100 or $1,200. However, if you look around on the street, these things are pretty much always under $1,000. So for a Bergara rifle with the feature set that you guys see here with the stock system that's adjustable, it has all the built-in features that we talked about, the excellent trigger, a barrel built in Spain with Bergara's barrel making technology that is legendary and has been around for hundreds of years, and it shoots really well. We also have the threads out there at the end to run the suppressor. They're standard 308 threads on there, so any of your 308 mounts or direct thread cans will work. Action's very smooth, trigger's great. I haven't had any reliability issues with it at all. There's just not a lot to complain about, especially at the price point that it's at. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're going to wrap the review up there. However, you guys are going to be seeing plenty more of this rifle here on the channel because I really like it, and I just got the scope in, so this is going to be the rifle that we're going to test this scope on. So a lot more rounds are going to be going down range. But speaking of that, right now we have about 700 rounds through this rifle, and like I said, zero issues at all. It's never been cleaned. It probably should be, but it hasn't been and hasn't caused us any trouble. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, hopefully the wind wasn't too bad out here, but again, you guys can see the lake behind me. Part of it's still frozen, so I just wanted to get outside because it's just been so freaking cold here lately that I wanted to enjoy the warmer weather. So that's it. You can post those comments down below or over at my Facebook page as always. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so, and I hope to see all of you in the next video.